I remember the morning I realized the past has a delete button. Officially, AEON doesn't have buttons like that. The system keeps everything. Every request, every report, every mistake. Especially the mistakes. Except mine. On the screen in front of me was a list of yesterday's actions. Files opened, reports viewed, requests sent. Everything looked neat, logical, perfectly balanced. Except where there should have been extended access request, level Omega. There was nothing. Not an error, not a warning, just nothing. The system remembers everything. If it forgets something, it's because someone gently but firmly asked it to. That's when I got the summons. A notification popped up on the screen. Orientation briefing on access policy. Location, compliance department. Recommended attendance, high importance. AEON has two types of invitations. The ones you can skip and the ones you're going to attend anyway. This was the second kind. The corridor to compliance didn't look much different from the others. Same white walls, same floor markings, same soft overhead lighting. The difference was in the silence. In other sectors, you hear server hum, footsteps, voices. Here, only ventilation and the occasional dry hiss of doors opening. The sign on the door read, Policy Compliance, AEON Compliance Department. In pre-war companies, doors like this were opened by people who got paid to make you feel guilty, even when you hadn't done anything wrong. Here, it was arranged a little more elegantly. Inside, a quiet office, a few desks, a few people far too focused on their screens to be truly relaxed. The important thing wasn't them. The important thing was on the wall. A large screen showed a schematic map of the shelter under the dome. Sectors A, B, C, D, E, and a whole rainbow of letters beyond. Some zones lit up green, some yellow, a couple red. The map was labeled, very simply, Overall Stability. I wasn't sure if that meant the infrastructure or the people inside it. Mark. The voice pulled me away from the colored geometry. Tom. The same level A badge. The same calm gaze, the same quiet certainty that he knows where you've been, even when the system says otherwise. Come in, he said. This won't take long, just standard orientation. He gestured to the chair across from his desk. On his screen, there wasn't a normal desktop, but an interface I hadn't seen before. Charts, scales, colored bars, and in the center, my employee ID. Don't worry, Tom said. This isn't an interrogation. It's preventative. Preventative. In a shelter, that word sounds almost like diagnostic. Only here, they don't treat the body. In AEON, he continued, we care about keeping our staff stable, physically, psychologically, informationally. He tapped a couple of keys. A new screen appeared. Something like a diagram titled Resilience Profile, Employee Mark. Along the timeline, dots, labels, stress response, decision-making under uncertainty, adaptation speed, even delay before confirming actions. Somewhere in there, between all the calm blue dots, there should have been the moment yesterday when I clicked Request Access, Level Omega. It wasn't there. The system, Tom said, occasionally initiates situations that help us get to know our employees better. He said it like he was commenting on the weather. Sometimes, he went on, a window pops up that most people don't even notice. Some close it. Some show initiative. I didn't say anything. Initiative, he added, is a very valuable resource, but it should be managed, top down. Somewhere behind me, the ventilation sighed a little louder. Don't worry, Mark. Tom's voice turned almost friendly again. This is standard procedure. New employee, first day. The system watches how you respond to unplanned stimuli. He paused. And sometimes, he said, it watches how you respond to things you only think are unplanned. I caught myself counting my own heartbeats. 1, 2, 3. No static on the radio yet, so far. You've got good potential, Tom concluded, looking at the screen. Solid normativity, moderate flexibility, slightly elevated curiosity. We'll take a closer look at that. He closed my profile with a single motion. A new document flashed up. And now, practical work, he said. The system prepared a task package for you, recommended as corrective training. Corrective. In AEON, any form of punishment is called education. I went back to Sector D with that word in my head. My terminal woke up as usual with a soft hum, the AEON logo. We own tomorrow. Only today, that line felt a little more literal. The system loaded a new list. Task package, historical resilience models. Status, recommended by compliance department. Historical models, which meant before the event, back where, officially, no one knew anything. The data was neat as always. Tables, graphs, rows of numbers that might have calmed the eye if you didn't know what they hid. I scrolled through the pre-crisis periods. The years before the event looked stable, too stable. Then the stability started to pulse. 6 to 9 months before the official start of the event, the graphs swelled. A sharp rise in construction of new shelter sections, increased purchases of filters, modules, medical supplies, personnel being reassigned to promising facilities. In the reports, it was simply called infrastructure optimization. Optimization is a nice word. It's convenient for covering anything you don't want questioned. I zoomed the timeline, compared resource use and planned population per sector. The numbers weren't just growing, they were tracing a suspiciously clean curve, as if someone was fitting the future to a graph. In several documents, one field stood out, absent from the others. A code, 3 letters, some digits. Label, project. The same format I'd seen in the header. Project, Shelter Development Phase 1, Stage, Pre-Crisis. Only here, there were no words, just the code. I tried searching by that code. The system obediently returned more documents. Evacuation plan, charts of planned infrastructure load, lists of positions for priority employment in case of emergency situations. The dates were set as if AEON had been planning for a catastrophe long before the world officially knew it was possible. I marked several lines with an internal note. Officially, for my convenience. In reality, so I wouldn't forget that I'd seen them at all. I saved a copy of the report to a local working file. That isn't forbidden. We're even encouraged to make personal summaries. I clicked Save. The interface twitched. The screen went gray for a fraction of a second. A window appeared, too fast for the system to have meant for me to read it clearly. I managed to catch a single line. Project updated. Initiative level increased. The window vanished, as if it had never existed. Officially, AEON doesn't have an initiative scale. At least, not in our brochures. My terminal went back to looking like any other tool. Tables, graphs, no warnings, no reprimands, no accusations. I realized I'd started reading even the pauses in the interface as threats. Officially, nothing had happened. Unofficially, I'd just been placed into someone's special category. The rest of the shift passed in a strange mode. I worked, reconciled numbers, checked reports, behaved the way people behave when they don't want to attract attention. But every new discrepancy made my heartbeat just a little louder. Pre-crisis resilience drills lined up a little too neatly with future security failures. Resource volumes in some sectors looked like someone already knew how many people would survive and who would be allowed in. Every time I hovered the cursor over another graph, I couldn't shake the feeling that somewhere back in compliance, someone's diagram was updating in real time. Finally, my shift ended. The system showed the usual message. Thank you for your contribution to AEON's future. Your efficiency coefficient today, 1.01 of target. Recommendations: rest, proper nutrition, 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Remember, you are an important part of our resilience. I was already reaching for log out when the screen flickered. This time, the window that appeared looked like no official notification at all. Black background, white text, no AEON logo, no frame, no accept or decline buttons. Just 2 lines. Incident 0 is not a file. It is an initiator. I repeated it silently in my head. Incident 0 is not a file. It's an initiator. I didn't even have time to decide what question to ask first. Who? What? When? Over that window, as if it were just another layer of the UI, a new message popped up. This one had all the proper corporate colors, the AEON logo, a neat border. Reminder, the spread of unverified assumptions about corporate history and discussion of unsanctioned concepts may reduce your resilience coefficient and affect your suitability for AEON long-term programs. Below was one more line. Recommended adjustment of interests. Focus on post-crisis resilience indicators. The window without the logo disappeared first, as if it had never been there. Only what the system considered acceptable remained on the screen. I sat in front of the terminal, listening to the servers hum behind the glass and the air breathe in and out through the vents. Yesterday, I thought the scariest file in AEON was the one I couldn't open. Today, I wasn't sure anymore. I even wanted to know who pressed the first button.